Here at IOB, one thing we've learned over these past few months, it's a great time to be an IoT startup. For example, CBI estimates that in Q1, $846 million went into investing in IoT startups. However, let's be straight here, it's not easy to be an IT startup. They need investment, they need partners, and they need skilled personnel to take the product further and take the business further. So we're here today at the Internet of Insurance to ask exactly what those challenges are for IoT startups.
We started 18 months ago. We are in the IoT space. We have developed a software that allows to connect to all the electronic devices in an environment. We speak to the electronic devices, all the different languages, we collect data, we send the data to the cloud, and then we do intelligence. Because technology can be a lot of noise, a lot of information, and what we do, we read all the data from the devices, and we provide insights about your home or about your office. It's been fantastic experience. There is so much going on. We're working 24 hours, 7 days a week at a very high speed, great opportunities. Our product has been already validated by Best Buy in the United States. We also been selected by Startup Bootcamp, the Accelerator, and they gave us an incredible opportunity to work with insurance companies. So far so good. We're very excited and we think there are great opportunities.
We started with the initial idea of really using data to directly impact positive behavior change. So we didn't want to create another area where we just capture people's data and sell it off to insurers. So the idea is really to create something that will work, will provide an impact and support people. So we decided to work with some of the key insurance players, especially with reinsurers, who often are the ones who have most of the knowledge. They are the ones who create the underwriting guidelines that are then passed on to the insurance companies, who then sell the product through the brokers. And so we focused our attention there, also being a startup that provides us with a little bit more flexibility to work with more players further along. So yeah, it was very good for us and also allowed us to focus a lot initially. So we got our core proposition and then generated enough interest so other people can come and see, of course, the potential in terms of prevention and how we could use that in other ways.
The value of a startup is the people that are working for the startup. So you need to be appealing to talents outside and be able to convince people to work for this startup, which is the first major challenge that we have to overcome. And then to be able to convince investors that can bring you added value. And this is quite critical. And then we're coming down to technology challenges.
The challenge for us specifically was really figuring out the right model, the right business model for the industry that made sense to the industry, that made sense in terms of the commercial mechanics of the industry. And that was challenging, it was difficult for us to crack that. Fortunately Philippe has a lot of industry expertise, so that helped, but we had to really iterate multiple times, finding that sweet spot between a consumer proposition that was compelling, a commercial proposition that was compelling to insurers, and a technology kind of framework that could do something. And we just went around that loop several times until we eventually landed on something which made sense across those three spectrums. So I think that is a particular challenge in this space, in the life and health space, for wearable or for IoT-driven businesses. And I would say in the broader IoT space, it's getting consumer traction. Because I think you can see that most of the progress in IoT at the moment is more sort of supply chain orientated, and more B2B, and that's great, and it's obviously proving to be very effective in that space, but you're not really going to get the mass movement that we're all kind of excited about. It's not going to really become mainstream until there's a compelling consumer proposition.
The way that we work with startups is at this point in time, we identify them through partnerships or networks that we've got, conferences, that kind of thing. So being here is a great opportunity to understand what they're doing and actually start those dialogues and those conversations. I think that working with startups is a real challenge for corporates because we have huge governance processes and structures that we have to sort of adhere to, and they are small and agile and quick, and that's their benefit. So we have to come together to find a mutually acceptable solution to try to drive things forward. For them particularly, getting involved in the large corporates, we're actually doing a lot more with incubators and accelerators. There's lots of funds that the corporates in the UK and across the globe are actually looking at. So I would probably suggest they start there, have a look and see what actually people are going out and asking for, those solutions that they're looking for, and use those to get their way in.
We've been helped quite a lot by the Accelerator because they had several people very enthusiastic about IoT in the insurance space, and so they were willing to understand what was our business proposition, helping us, to shape it in the right way, and also giving us some connections and introduction. So I think we've been. I would, recommend to any startup to be supported by an accelerator, because it really helps in moving faster and in the right direction and shape your business in a much better way.
Obviously, it's always a chicken egg solution, so you need to have pilots, you need to have some traction to get the investments, and so obviously you need to work a little bit both on each front and kind of stage the progress, and I think that's what we've been doing. We since we had demo day a couple months ago, we've been focusing more on the traction side, trying to find the right partners with the insurers, starting to work, negotiate pilots and future investments with them, so that way we can get our maybe other types of investors or to get in early, so we kind of can give some visibility. I think that the key is to provide some visibility to whoever would come in and invest.
Yeah, our ambition is to take the OSeven to the next level and expand international markets. And right now we are already in the final steps of rolling out with leading European insurance companies, automotives, leasing companies, and all over Europe, and we're discussing about expansion in Latin American markets and North America as well.
There is space for many startups. I think you just need to take the right decision, because it's a fierce competition. There are many players, and it's very easy to make mistakes at the beginning. So that's why I think having sponsors, business partners that are helping in shaping your business is incredibly important.
You need to stay focused. This is the secret of success. The big F. Focus, otherwise you are heading to low F. This is failure. This is the most important thing for any startup, including IoT as well.